Hello and welcome to this presentation of Clutch Sports Media here in the Mid-Illini Conference. It's a girls basketball clash between the Dunlap Eagles and the Metamora Redbirds. I'm Cody Roskins. Alongside me is Gavin Russell. And Gavin, these are two squads that have had very roller coaster-esque seasons. Metamora is now on the tear. They're tearing through the Mid-Illini. Dunlap a little banged up. What can we kind of expect in this one?
Well, you're exactly right, Cody. Dunlap, first of all, for the home team, they are a little banged up. Their star player, Sophia Remmel, is going to be out once again. She is expected back soon, but she's still recovering from a sprained ankle she suffered a couple of weeks ago. They're 11-10 on the year, Cody. Maybe not exactly where they would like to be, but all things considered, to be 11-10 and 5-4 Mid-Illini play is nothing too shabby. And as for Metamora, as you mentioned, they are on a tear. I mean, they are one of the receiving votes in Class 3A for girls basketball. So Metamora's hot, looking to come in and upset the Dunlap Eagles on the road.
Absolutely, Gavin. And to that point, the Metamora Redbirds 4-0 on the road this season to this point in the Mid-Illini Conference season. They are mowing down the Mid-Illini. But Gavin, let's go back to last year. These two teams played a heck of a classic basketball game. 3 overtimes in that meeting between the Eagles and the Redbirds. Can you walk us through that one?
Well, I mean, an instant classic. I mean, usually when a lot of these Mid-Illini teams get together, we always see big games. But, that game was full of feature players. To note, looking for the stats here, Kayla Pacha had 16 in that game. Sophia Remmel had 21. So that's a player they won't have tonight. Going back to that game, Sophia Remmel had 21. So, again, losing her is a big loss for the Eagles. But, again, just a heck of a game. And, again, both these teams have a great history.
Absolutely. Now, on the other side, Gavin, what does Dunlap have to kind of do? Obviously, we noticed that are almost not going to be in tonight. How do they kind of pick up the slack with her absence?
Well, they got to stay the course. I mean, they don't need to worry too much. They just got to play their game, trust the people that they have on the floor. Find the playmakers. They still have some, really noteworthy players they're going to throw out there. Look at Lily Sutter is one of those players that I, think can really turn it on for Dunlap tonight. Metamora, they got to win the first quarter. If they can get hot, get going early and often, they should be in a good position to win this game.
Absolutely, as we will, here in just a couple moments, get set and ready for the national anthem as the Metamora Redbirds just end their pre-warm-up huddle and make their way back to their road bench. Again, Gavin, this should be a game on paper that should be very tough for Metamora. Dunlap, not an usual easy place to win. We saw Morton come in here earlier this year and play kind of a scrappy game against the Eagles. This Eagles team will not be scared at all in the slightest. As we get ready to go, we'll go ahead, take a quick moment for the national anthem.
Junior Anna Hammerer sings our national anthem.
A beautiful rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner from one of the in-house students here in Dunlap. But Gavin, as we get just about ready for tip-off, again, your quick thoughts coming into this one.
Well, it's going to be a good battle. I think that Dunlap's really going to control how this game goes. Of course, obviously, they want to play hard. They want to win, those obvious things. But one thing I noticed last time we were out here covering Dunlap when they played Morton, they kind of just got way too behind early. They weren't able to really get themselves into the game. They played well down the stretch, but again, got so far behind they couldn't quite make that comeback. So hang around. They're a team that definitely can upset Metamora. As for Metamora, I mean, they've got a lot of things going right. They just got to continue to play their game, continue that momentum. And as we like to talk so often about, Cody, is Big Mo. And that can extend from game to game. So Metamora looking to keep momentum coming into this game. It'd be a big Mid-Illini Conference victory for sure.
Absolutely, Gavin, as you were, of course, running over the important keys to the game on one side for Metamora and Dunlap. The Redbirds went with the starting lineup of Aluminder, Russell, Pacha. They went with Ramage and Marshall to close out their starting five. As the Dunlap Eagles now begin their introductions. They'll kick things off with number 3, Julia Solberger. And there, of course, one of the players to watch, Lily Sutter, according to our Gavin Russell, has to play a big role tonight in order for Dunlap to pull off the home upset.
5'9" freshman, number 25, Georgie Copley. And a 5'7" senior, number 32, Tanea Cummings.
And Cummings will round out the starting five for the Dunlap Eagles. Dunlap will be sporting the all-white with gold numbers and black trim with the maroon trim around the pants and shoulders. And it'll be Metamora going with the reds and blacks with a white number trim. And we are just about underway here in Dunlap. We are set and primed in the center circle. Each team takes their marks. And we're underway in Dunlap, possession to Metamora. Redbirds will start up the offense here in the half court. Down the lane, kicked back out towards the top. The roll and replace, working to perfection. However, left it on the doorstep too strong. And now here come the Eagles.
Good job by Dunlap on defense there. We saw Metamora play Pekin a week ago. One thing Pekin did nicely was get good contests on those inside shots, so they can continue to do that.
It was Solberger who started the offense, but the offense will be halted to an emphatic close as Katy Ramage gets the first block of the contest.
Did a little more than contesting that one, just getting all ball. Nice job on defense for both teams to start the game.
And great inbound defense to follow it up as the Metamora Redbirds force the 5-second inbound violation, and so possession goes back to Metamora. Aluminder will bring it up. Swing to the left side. Trying to find a lane downhill. Dunlap. Strong on the defensive end for the second straight possession. They force the rebound and run.
First couple of possessions, not a lot going offensively. I think the defense, good for both teams, but again, we'll see who can start the offense first.
They try to go down low. Up and under move, left short. Good possession that time, though, Gavin, from Dunlap. Had a good little in and out game.
Just get those good looks. They'll start falling eventually, but better defense to start out.
And that was Lily Sutter on that last shot. Is on the other end. A block by Solberger. And so each squad now with one block apiece. And the paint defense active on both ends.
I mean, we're a minute and a half in, and again, the defense on both sides has been absolutely stout. A couple of blocks. It's really good defense. Might tell the story of this game.
Pacha kicks to the corner. She had that big game in the triple overtime thriller between these two squads last year. 5 first-half threes. And a traveling violation will go against the Redbirds. And so possession back to Dunlap. And we're still scoreless. That's 6:31 to go.
Kind of a momentum killer is, of course, you've had some big defensive stops, but you want to be that team to strike first offensively. A turnover doesn't really accomplish that. Turnovers are never good.
That's Solberger. On the drive, fouled by Aluminder. So the first foul of the game will go against Metamora, and it'll be a sideline out of bounds. Inbound to Solberger. Sutter to her right. Off to the right-hand side. Pass down into the high post. Nice up and under move once more. Again, though, each team having trouble putting it in from the field. And a blocking foul against the Eagles.
But I like that shot, though. Again, another good possession where they got a good little up and under look, kind of in the high paint area. Just didn't get it to go. Seems like a little more of the momentum is heading towards Dunlap, even though this game is 0-0. Looking pretty poised on the home court.
That was Peyton Haley on the last foul for the Eagles as a strong shot fouled on the shot. This will be important to see if that's Haley. That'll be her second foul in less than 10 seconds. That'll be Kirtley.
That's a break right there.
So the Redbirds to the line for the first time tonight. As that one finds the bottom of the tin, and Ramage gets them on the board.
As we know, Metamora likes to take it inside. Getting the foul here and a couple of free throws, good way to take the lid off the bucket.
Second one will also find the bottom of the hole, and it's a 2-0 Redbird advantage at 5:56 to go here in quarter number 1. Gavin, what do the Eagles need to do to try and take the lid off the basket here?
Just take another good shot. Take another good shot, get a good look. One of them's bound to fall, Cody.
It's like they're trying to work that ball into the high post, but Metamora's done a good job of running them off of it. Solberg at the top of the key. Will drive left, down the lane, flicks it off the window and sinks it for 2, and the Eagles are now on the board. We're knotted up at 2.
Here comes Metamora trying to make a quick response. They like to run the floor.
Post move right hook. Almost gets it wedged against the backboard and the rim, and a great rebound and defensive effort for Dunlap. Sutter looks for the backdoor cut to Solberger, and it's not there. They'll set up the motion offense. Trying to work downhill, kick to the corner. Now to Solberger in the high post. Another dribble drive. Left it too strong, and now here come the Redbirds.
As they get out and run, we'll see if they continue to push it inside, maybe work the perimeter more, but they'll go inside.
Down low again, that was Pacha. A couple of layups missed early, and that could be a little bit of nerves here, Gavin. Both these teams know this game will be far from easy.
Certainly do, Cody. Really good contesting on those shots.
And a sloppy turnover. Metamora on the move. Pacha has it, swings it. Now Metamora trying to set up a good offensive set. Marshall to the corner. Down the lane, and good that time for Metamora. Their first successful field goal of the night. We'll go ahead and go to Lalamandir.
Nice job. They just spread out. Everybody was near the three-point line. Let one of your playmakers just take it inside, and they have the 4-2 lead early on.
Solberger in the corner. Wants the skip pass. Pass is intercepted by Marshall. Now here come the Redbirds. Down the lane, fouled. And that will be on number 25, Kirtley. That'll be her second.
That's a tough foul right there. Metamora's done a really nice job forcing some of these turnovers, and really turnovers have been a problem early on for Dunlap. I'm sure heading into this mask timeout, it'll definitely be something that Heather Cassidy will be telling her team to clean up a little bit.
Indeed, we will head into the mask timeout, but we'll head it and swing it to a quick word from our sponsors for tonight and Uftering.
Upgrade to four-wheel drive or all-wheel drive during Uftering's Traction for All sales event. With new SUVs and trucks in stock and inbound, plus fresh trades and pre-owned for every budget. Reduce the slide in your ride during the Traction for All sales event at every Uftering Auto Group dealer.
Thanks for sticking with us after that short break. Gavin, me and you were kind of drawing some eyes at each other here. It's only a 4-2 game. 2 of those points for Metamora have come at the free throw line. They've only had 1 successful field goal attempt. On the other hand, Dunlap only has 1 successful field goal attempt, but we've had a lot of smoked layups on the doorstep. Is that just nerves, paint defense, or could it be a combination of the both?
Definitely a combination of the both, Cody. I think, again, you know the high stakes of this game. You know, I'm sure in Metamora they're thinking about what happened last year when they played them. Of course, they've seen each other this year, but once again, definitely some nerves probably, you know, as Metamora continues on their roll. You know, they don't want to have their streak busted by Dunlap, and, of course, Dunlap also wants to be the team to bust that streak. So a little bit of both on both sides of the ball. But maybe unbeknownst, both of these teams were preaching defense in practice this week because both teams have come out very sharp defensively. We'll see if maybe they try to shift their focus a little bit to try to put some more points on the board.
Speaking of trying to put more points on the board, the Redbirds at the line here for their second and third trips. This will be Alyssa Russell for her 2 shots at the stripe. They're 2 for 2 on the night. And her first one, nothing but net, gives them a 3-point edge.
Free throws are huge. I mean, it's free points. You know, you just got to take advantage of them. And sometimes the story can be told by free throws, doing a nice job so far.
And missing all of the rim on that next one after a beautiful shot on the first attempt. Goes 1 of 2 at the stripe. But I had a coach once say to me, Gavin, you'll never be more open than when you're at the free throw line. So you got to put them in.
Very true. They've done a nice job for the most part.
Now here come the Eagles, and we've got a foul on the low block. This will go against 23 Ramage.
Interesting, the foul call so far. There's been a few little maybe hand checks or slight pushes. Of course, the officials looking like they're trying to keep this game in a little more control. But a few early whistles, maybe a little bit light.
Kirtley, she's playing with 2 fouls, kicks outside for 3, and it's good! Dunlap knocks the game up at 5 off a big 3 that time by Cummings. Down low, the answer right back at you. It's Pacha off that right block.
Hear Heather Cassidy yelling at her team that was a good defense possession, just a better shot.
Skip pass is deflected off the backboard. Now here comes Metamora. Tough pass in traffic is turned away. The Eagles trying to tie it back up at 7 through the lane. Flick of the wrist, and it is just off. A frenetic pace here in the early goings of the second. It will drive down low by Lalumandir. Now going back downhill, losing the ball, kicks to the corner, Metamora. That one is off the mark. Pacha with the rebound. Nice job of diving that time by Ramage, but her attempt is just off.
She felt like she got fouled there, may have had a case.
Cummings for her second 3 will leave this one short. Offensive rebound was tapped back in. Then Cummings follows it up with a foul.
Even with a couple of players already picking up some early fouls for the Eagles, they're not letting off the gas pedal in terms of aggressiveness on either end of the floor. And it appears after the timeout, both these teams had the same game plan, play quickly.
You're right, Gavin. The pace has definitely increased here in the early, excuse me, I shouldn't say the second. We're still in period 1 after the mass timeout. But down low, off the window and good. Maybe a little bit of contact down low. Now Dunlap trying to answer a 9-5 deficit. Ball screen down into the lane again, just left short. Cummings nearly had the offensive rebound, and now a fast break opportunity for Metamora. And again, they convert for 2 as Redgate has 4 in a row.
This is what Metamora can do. They can get out, score a lot of points in a hurry, largely because of that game they play in transition with a lot of fast breaks. Big 6-point lead right now.
Kirtley will go to the left hand, backdoor cut to Cummings. Is taken away, a 3-on-3 break. Kick to the short corner, now to the high post. Beautiful ball movement by Metamora. Left short, rebound to Dunlap.
Left her open. I think she'd like that one back a little bit, but nice ball movement from the Redbirds. They're really starting to get in tune offensively and keeping Dunlap off balance. Be helpful to get a big shot here before the quarter's end.
Under 60 seconds to go here in quarter number 1. It's a 6-point Redbird advantage and a foul called on the drive from Solberger. That'll be Redgate. Coming off the bench, Gavin, she's picked up 4 points here for the Metamora Redbirds, but charged with the foul here.
Yeah, it's a tough foul. I mean, again, you're just playing hard, maybe a little bit too much on a hand check. But either way, I mean, she's been a big contributor with the 4 points, helping this 6-point lead feel like even a little bit more, just considering where the momentum is heading at the moment.
So on the sideline, out of bounds, here come the Eagles. They've got to get it in will. Sutter kicks to the right side wing. Now a tough skip pass will nearly find its way out of bounds, and foot on the line will indicate the turnover from Kirtley.
We don't have official stats tonight, Cody, but that's got to be 4 or 5 turnovers at least so far. And again, maybe you get a couple of shots instead of turnovers. We could be looking at a closer game.
Turnovers and free throws, reasons 1 and 2. The majority of the time, teams will win or lose a game. Top of the key, they try to set the pin down screen. Now the Redbirds with a nice little weave action. Ball sticking in the corner. Beautiful on-ball defense that time by Dunlap. Did a good job of playing back on the post and having good high hands and ball pressure in the corner.
If you're Metamora, hold for the last shot, I say. You know, you've got a lot going for you right now, especially if you could get another bucket, whether it be a 2 or a 3, that could be huge.
Nice inbounds play, but too strong underneath. And now Dunlap will have the final say of the quarter. Sutter trying to work to the right, now into the high post, kick to the corner. Again on the drive, shot nearly at the buzzer, off the mark, and Metamora at the horn leaves it just short, and it's an 11-5 Redbird advantage through one quarter. Your quick thoughts, Gavin?
Very close in the early stages, but after that mass timeout, Metamora really turned it on offensively, and as a result have a
defense. And then when we come up and press you, that's when we're going to force the turnovers. And I really thought that Dunlap carried the momentum there in that first one. They won the rebounding battle in that first part of the mass timeout, but lost it in the second. A lot of that has to do, though, of course, of not making shots.
Well, both of these teams had some quality opportunities, particularly Dunlap. A couple of possessions come to mind where they, had the ball in the post, tried to do a little up and under action. The ball just didn't fall into the cylinder. But either way, you're getting some of those good opportunities. I would say revisit that. See if you can get that going once again. And once again, you have to think that would start to fall eventually. So a couple of quality opportunities for both teams. Metamora just had more shots fall thus far.
Absolutely the case. But for Dunlap, Gavin, it just seemed to me in my eye that a lot of times when they were having success, it would have been Solberger in a dribble drive situation. A lot of times she would get down to the block or inside the paint, just, again, having tough time getting shots to fall in the paint. Redbirds blessed with a lot of length down below between the blocks, and so far maybe that's been the deterrent.
Well, Solberger's done a great job, and you got to think once again, this team is pretty young, especially losing your key player, Sophia Remmel. Solberger just a sophomore, so young players taking on a big task and doing a decent job so far.
Shifting into the horn set for Dunlap. Kirtley. And they're going to call a moving screen that time on 23 in white. That's Haley. And as you heard over the PA, that'll be her second foul of the night. So 2 Dunlap Eagles now with 2 fouls here in the early parts of this one. That's Kirtley and Haley.
Fouls have just been a little touchy to my eye. Usually in Mid-Illini play, they let them play a little more contact they can get away with, but pretty touchy tonight on the foul calls.
Down low, a beautiful pass, but again, it's Kirtley. Not scared, playing with the 2 fouls, goes up high and gets the ball. That's a second team block for Dunlap.
I think in this stage of the game, this is a big game. Don't let up off the aggressiveness.
3-pointer from the corner is off the mark. That will find its way out of bounds, but not before the foul. And that's going to be 2. And as it looks to be Dunlap ball here off the inbound, Solberger will have to set up the offense again. Gavin, where do they go?
I think Solberger needs to take it herself. Get a quality opportunity, maybe kick it out, but either way, she's been beneficiary of this offense.
They've been more 3-point centric with Cummings in the game. She's not in right now, and so maybe they're on the same page as you, Gavin. They want to get into the paint. Kick to the corner, a long 2. Falls just short. Strong rebound from Metamora. On the run, Pacha has it stripped from behind by Sutter.
Sutter, nice job right there. Big senior presence. See if now she can translate that into some offense.
Solberger trying to find a way into the pick and roll. Underneath, good pass, squeaks it through. And again, though, just too strong off the window, that time by Cruz. Down the lane, pass is tipped. Great ball movement again by Metamora.
Good recovery, though, by Dunlap.
Down the lane, Pacha stripped again. Sutter with an all type of defensive performance here tonight. Down low again. Gets a hand on the deflection, and a foul will be called on Cruz. On that possession, Gavin, Sutter almost got the steal and the block.
she's been making things happen on defense. And, you know, as I mentioned kind of at the beginning of the show, you know, she's a big-time playmaker. You know, you might think a little more on offense, but making a big difference on defense so far.
As Pacha's first free throw is off the mark. She'll get one more chance at the stripe. Just as we were saying on their last possession, Gavin, Dunlap's been more three-point centric with Cummings in the game. Here she checks in, checking out curtly. And the second one from Pacha is good.
Big time for a bucket, Cody. I think that, you know, this would really help them get back into this game. They're only down by 7. You're well not out of it. Get a good shot here.
The Dunlap defense has been stellar tonight and keeping everybody in check. Dribble drive. Sutter fouled. And they're going to say a travel. And so a change in possession.
And I do think she walked just before the foul. It was kind of a bang-bang play, but overall looked like a good call by the officials. Just one extra step can get you every time. And good idea, though. You know, they're really starting to find ways to get good shots. Just haven't had a outcome they would like so far.
Yeah, not much of a complaint from the Dunlap bench. Of course, head coach Heather Cassidy, one of the premier coaches in this conference. Kick out 3 for Metamora. It's off the mark and rebounded by Cummings. Solberger and Cruz in the pick and roll. Kick outside, long 2. Just short again. It just seems that one of these times, Gavin, Dunlap's going to find a way to take that lid off the basket. Fouled, and one. Pacha.
Heather Cassidy is not real pleased with that foul call. Maybe a bit more of an anticipation foul, but definitely took some contact right there, and nice job to just play right through it. The harm, the foul, and a chance for a three-point play.
And Pacha leaves it short. And the scores table sounded the horn, and there's a sub at the table waiting to check in, but of course off a missed free throw, the ball is live. Cummings in the corner trying to drive, loses the ball out of bounds, going back to Metamora, and this is in danger, kind of spiraling out of control for the Eagles, Gavin.
And this is exactly what happened to them the last time we were here when they played Morton. Of course, Morton, a very good team, but started out decent and then just got real cold on offense. They turned it on in the second half, but kind of put them out of reach, so they need to avoid that.
And that's a foul on Sutter, push into the back of Pacha. And so they're going to go to the line for the 1-and-1 opportunity.
That's big. Over half of the quarter left to go. And any foul now turns into a 1-and-1 eventually into 2 shots. Metamora with a big chance here to go up double digits and then some.
Paige Steffen checks out, and Kirtley checks back in for Dunlap after that last substitution. And Pacha now up to 6 points, pending this next free throw. And Notcher 7, as it's now an 11-point Metamora advantage. Dunlap trying to find a way back, right-footed shot, and they're going to call a foul on the drive-in shot, and so Solberger will go to the line for 2.
Well, this is a big turning point for Dunlap. A good chance to get some points on the board. Your first of the quarter and first in several minutes. Kind of break a dry spell that they've had ever since the first quarter.
Sinks the first. Fassett will check in. Cruz will check out for Dunlap. Solberger's second free throw connects, back down to 9.
2 big free throws right there, definitely earned them. I think those were Dunlap's first and second free throws of the game. They definitely count at this stage in the game. Just a 9-point deficit now.
Here come the Redbirds, trying to build back up that lead to double digits. Working it down low, dribble drive. Acrobatic shot, almost a mock reverse layup that time from Redgate. Solberger on the drive is fouled again on the blocking foul, and she'll go to the line for 2.
Excellent take right there by Solberger. That's a very good heads-up play. You just got to the line for 2 free throws, now a chance for 2 more. You saw the opening and took it. Yeah, they had an opportunity to either foul you or give you an easy shot, and of course took the foul. Chance for 2 free throws, missed the first one, but again, heads-up play by Solberger.
That's Vandestraff picking up the foul. Able to connect on the second. It's down to 8. Long ahead pass. Metamora getting kind of sloppy with it, and it's first to the floor for the Eagles, and they win it. Kirtley crossing over, finds Sutter. Wanting the pick and roll. Now Solberger, she's been the offensive catalyst so far today for Dunlap. Kicks outside to Kirtley. Under 4 to go here in the second quarter. Cummings loses it momentarily, but it is corralled by Fassett, and a timeout to Heather Cassidy and the Dunlap Eagles.
Good timeout by Heather Cassidy, because this feels like a big turning point possession for this first half. Of course, you're about halfway through in the quarter. Had the last few points. I think they're on a 3-0 run or something of that sort off some free throws. So if you can get a bucket here, especially if you get a 3, this game gets real interesting real quick.
And one thing I've noticed, Gavin, is they've been much more aggressive on offense. They are forcing Metamora to foul and they get in the paint because they're going downhill hard and aggressive.
Well, they kind of started out the game slow and methodical, seeing if the, open shots would come to them. They did have a couple of good looks, didn't get them to go, but now they're trying to kick up the pace, and I look at that turnover that they forced on Metamora's last possession. They tried to push the pace up the court, a couple of missed passes, and Dunlap gets the ball back. So keep Metamora guessing. That's what Dunlap has going for them right now, and they're, of course, a very well-coached team.
And you hit it right on the head, Gavin. They're a very well-coached team, and like we said, Dunlap out with one of their biggest stars in this lineup tonight. They're expecting Remmel back at some point here. We've heard some rumblings here in the next, week or so. But, you look at that scoreboard. It reads 8-16. What does that do for morale going into the locker room, knowing you're going against a team with one Mid-Illini conference loss to Washington, and you've almost got them on the ropes here at home?
Again, Metamora is a team that is one of the best in Class 3 for girls basketball. So Dunlap has a chance to really do something big tonight. I think they definitely realize it, but you got to go out and play your game. Don't try to do anything too fancy. Just go out and play winning basketball.
Be stars in your role is the saying most coaches use. Tonight, a lot of the Dunlap Eagles having to play out of the role, with Remmel out of the lineup yet again. Sutter passes to Solberger. Trying to find a way to get downhill. Passes underneath and intercepted. It's a 3-on-1 break. And a double dribble, well caught that time by the officials. Thought she maybe even almost traveled on the catch. But again, great job by Dunlap, even though they were in a disadvantage, stopping the ball and forcing the pass.
And that's something, that Metamora usually does really well, is the transition game. And the last 2 times they've been in transition, it's resulted in a turnover just because Dunlap is keeping them guessing. So again, keep them guessing, forcing the turnovers, nice defense.
Sutter in the corner, working against Redgate. Drives. And they're going to call the shooting foul. Kyle Wyanath wanting the jump ball. Had a pretty reasonable, argument to be made there, but instead the officials blow the whistle for the foul.
It's kind of how it's been going all night. Some borderline calls perhaps, but doesn't go right there. He's thinking that, maybe that should have been a jump ball, had the hand on the ball, but regardless, it's free throws and a couple of big ones that were missed.
And Sutter goes 0 for 2 at the line. That was Redgate's second foul. And now Metamora in transition. Pull-up jumper from the short corner is blocked.
To my count, that's 3 blocks for Dunlap tonight. They are denying opportunities of Metamora.
Far from the longer or taller team. They're getting after it. Cummings' jump shot is good. They've pulled back within 6. Gavin, didn't mean to jump on you there, but again, the Redbirds a little bit out of control as the ball goes spiraling out of bounds.
And they've kind of put Metamora back on their heels a little bit. The momentum, that's what we love to talk about, Cody. Now it's starting to head in the home team's favor. Is not only are they playing defense well, they're also getting some shots to drop. They matched their first quarter total with 5, looking to build on it.
The next 2.5 minutes will be very big in dictating the story of this game. Dunlap trailed by as many as 11 in this quarter. Have worked it back to 6. Solberger on the drive, 2 feet in the paint, able to scoop it up and in, and Solberger cuts it to 4.
Great take right there. Maybe thought she was going to pass it out. Just really good heads-up play from Solberger tonight.
Metamora, though, will not be phased. They've been here before. You don't get to 7 wins in the conference in 8 tries with being timid. As again, it's first to the floor, and Dunlap nearly winning it again, and they will call a timeout with possession to the ball to Metamora, a 30-second charge timeout.
And I think that's a timeout Metamora desperately needed. Again, you've got a lot of the momentum heading towards Dunlap, but as you mentioned, they've been here before. You know, they are not easily phased. They're a team that can get right back into it. And as we saw earlier in this game, you know, when they get it going, they can go in a hurry. So just get settled in, kind of put what's happened the last couple minutes behind you, play your game again.
And Gavin, I could be wrong, but I'm not sure if you're seeing the same thing I am, but it seems like anytime there's an opportunity for someone to dive on the ball, there's a Dunlap Eagle soaring after it. And it's not that Metamora isn't necessarily jumping on it themselves. It's just they're a step behind because Dunlap knows they need those possessions.
Well, Dunlap's been very good on defense all night. Of course, Metamora's made some tough shots, but they're playing well in transition. You know, they're getting their hands in the passing lanes. They're seemingly doing everything right on defense to face a team that's, you know, notable in the state of Illinois as in Metamora.
How do the Redbirds respond to the adversity?
Need to get a good look here. Again, the turnovers have been killing them lately, so get a shot up and get yourself an opportunity.
Russell kicks to the near side. Into the high post, now down low, loses the ball, saved by Pacha. Dribble hop step through the lane, too strong, rebound to Sutter. We've got a good one brewing in Dunlap. Down low pass is intercepted. Now here come the Redbirds. Pacha will slow things up and probably the wise decision. Once more the Redbirds trying to set up the offense. Into the near corner. Pacha, one more pass. Tipped away, and once you know it, it's Kirtley. I mean, what more can we say about it, Gavin? Her and Sutter have been really stepping up defensively.
Those players have been great on defense. They are just, you know, really making life difficult for the Metamora Redbirds, and Heather Cassidy over here calling out what's about to happen. Excellent coaching, too. You need to give a lot of credit to that.
They nearly get the 5 violation. They're going to say that ball was tipped. So they avoid the backcourt violation as we're under 40 seconds to go here in quarter number 2.
Metamora looking like having a difficult time attacking this zone. See if they can figure that out.
Redgate, 3. Off the mark and rebounded by, I believe that's Kirtley. Excuse me, it's Sutter. One more pass, long 2, sinks it.
And boy, do we have a game, Cody. This is getting real interesting.
Kirtley stepping up on offense and defense, and the last shot will belong to Metamora. The Redbirds led by as many as 16, but Dunlap has almost clawed all the way back. Right-handed hook shot, beautifully kissed off the glass, and that's how the half will end as Marshall extends the lead back to 4 for Metamora.
But you got to think that Dunlap's got a lot of momentum heading into the locker room. Did a real nice job to close out the quarter.
And we'll go ahead and shift it into a quick break. Stick with us. We'll have second half action from the Mid-Illini Conference coming up soon.
It's Ufftring's Traction for All sales event with the 4-wheel and all-wheel drive trucks and SUVs you need for winter driving. Interest rates are at record lows and trade values are at historic highs. Plus, changes to the trade tax law means you'll get your full tax credit at every Uftring Auto Group dealer.
And welcome back once more to Dunlap High School, home of the Eagles. And we've got a good one brewing here in the Mid-Illini, an 18-14 score going into the locker rooms. Gavin, your quick thoughts there in the action in the first half.
Well, the game started off fairly even in the first 4 minutes or so. If you are to go back and rewatch this game in the first half of its entirety, pretty even. Then Metamora kind of took over. Then it started to feel a little more even. And in the first half, a lot of it was Dunlap. Dunlap started making their shots. They got some quality opportunities. And I think one thing all night on both sides that we need to definitely mention is the defense. The defense has meant a lot in this game, forcing a lot of turnovers, blocks, you name it. It's happened on defense tonight for both of these teams. So it's going to be a grinded-out type game. That's how both these teams like to play. And it should be a very, very interesting second half.
We're in store for a good one here in Dunlap High School. Once again, home of the Eagles in tonight's Mid-Illini Conference clash between Metamora and Dunlap. We'll be right back with second half action. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to Dunlap High School, home of the Dunlap Eagles, and tonight's clash in the Mid-Illini between Metamora and Dunlap. It's an 18-14 score as they come out of the locker rooms here for the start of the third quarter. Gavin, what are some of your keys going here into half number 2?
Well, Dunlap's certainly got to keep the momentum up. They had a big finish to that second quarter to end the half. They started making some of their shots. They got good open looks. I mean, everything seemed to be going right for the Eagles. As for Metamora, we know they're a team that can turn on in a hurry, so don't panic. Continue to play your game. You've got a 4-point lead. Just play quality basketball, and I'm sure both these teams are looking to do that in half number 2. Overall, I expect a tight matchup, maybe a few runs here and there, but either way, it should be a good second half, and I could see this game easily coming down to the wire.
It's been 2 stalwarts on defense so far tonight for Dunlap, Gavin. We were talking during the halftime intermission. Kirtley and Sutter have been utterly dominant on the defensive side of the ball. We heard from our resident Dunlap expert, Brock Alkyler, who's on camera tonight, that this might be the best they've played defensively all season. Well,
they played very well, as you mentioned, and it's fair to note Kirtley is another one of those young parts of this Dunlap squad, just a freshman. So you got a little bit of experience making plays, but again, that youth coming in big for Dunlap tonight.
So we're underway here in half number 2. Redbirds possession. Drive into the paint. Trying to get it strong off the glass, but it will be a no-go attempt that time by Russell. Now Solberger had a big first half. Dishes down low, kick back out to Cummings. Mid-ranger is good. She's hit a couple of those now, Gavin. Watch out or she could get going.
Cummings has been great on the catch and shoot. They're looking to set her up for as many opportunities as possible. Big difference maker in this game.
The lead is down to 2 for the Redbirds as Pacha will kick into the corner. Ramage with the driving kick again. Tight defense here for Dunlap. The backdoor cut is available. Kick back outside. Metamora for 3, and it's just off the mark. Rebound to the Eagles.
Can't give Metamora too many of those open 3 opportunities. They haven't really cashed in yet, but they can get it going from distance in a hurry too.
Solberg in the lane. Fouled, and they're shooting for a tie.
Big free throws right here, and hopefully I don't pull the broadcaster jinx again for Dunlap's sake, but again, big free throws, and as you mentioned earlier, free throws and turnovers are what can decide a game.
First one rattles off the mark for Solberger. So she'll stay at the line for one more. Second one is pure. It's a 17-18 contest here in Dunlap. Again, Metamora, their lone conference loss to Washington. They're 4-0 on the road this season. Now trying to find the advantage once more is Metamora.
They look a little uncomfortable on offense. I think large part, Dunlap's really changed the defense up a number of times.
Almendier kicks to Pacha. Now the pin down screen. Down the lane, Pacha fouled. That's a foul on Solberger. Gotta watch out, make sure she doesn't get in foul trouble.
Saw a little foul trouble in the first half from both of these teams as both teams got into the bonus.
And they actually called that one on Sutter. That's her 3rd. And the first one touches every square inch of that rim, Gavin, and finally falls for Metamora.
Spin cycle right there and went in Metamora's favor, but Sutter having to sit down, that is a big loss, especially on the defensive end of the floor.
Second one, not as fortunate on the roll. Off the mark, and we'll stick out a 2-point game. Kirtley up the floor into the ball screen. Once again, they're trying to get downhill. Mid-range jump shot, sinks it, and that's a good for Peyton Haley. She got into foul trouble early in the game, but she's on the board, and we're knotted up at 19.
They had a few of those high paint shots in the first half, didn't get them to go, got that one.
And a foul on the drive. This will be a baseline out of bounds coming up for Metamora. So the foul comes before the shot. That's Solberg. Down low to Pacha, again off the mark, rebound to Dunlap, and Kirtley will push the pace.
Nice job by Fassett getting a hand in the face there. Good contest.
Fassett, the unsung hero right now for Dunlap, as this one finds its way out of bounds off the hands of Haley. You hit it on the head, Gavin. She's been very integral in the rebounding department tonight, but she's also been their primary screener in the pick and roll.
Well, Metamora has the big height advantage, but she's bringing in kind of contesting that, doing a nice job of it, really kind of going toe-to-toe with that height of Metamora.
Again, Metamora trying to work against the stifling Dunlap defense, and Solberger jumps right into the jump ball with Pacha.
Very good. They've been reading some of those passes incredibly well, getting in there, poking the ball away, and of course that one a jump ball. The defense has just looked great for Dunlap.
Solberger now trying to run the show on offense and give her team the lead. Kirtley in the corner for three. We have a whistle from the far side. And they're going to say a offensive foul away from the ball. And it is going to be on Peyton Haley. So it's Metamora ball. So now they have Cruz into the game for Dunlap. And Metamora will have to find a way to crack the 2-3.
2-3's been effective so far for Dunlap.
And it's blocked underneath and a foul. Looked like maybe a fair block, but Gavin, a whistle being called, and these fouls are starting to pile up again for Dunlap.
There's been a few of those, again, possibly borderline calls, but
as Pacha puts in the first of two.
But again, you got the free throws, got to make them. Metamora takes the lead with that last one and goes up by 2. And that 2-point lead feels big right now.
Again, Dunlap trailed by as many as 11 in this game. Find themselves down 2, trying to find the tie or lead. Cruz underneath, passes deflected away and out of bounds off the hands of Paige Steffen. This will be a baseline out of bounds coming up for the Eagles. Able to get the ball in without much of a problem. Solberger backing down in the lane, runner off glass. Doesn't find the home, and a foul. That'll be against Cummings. Good aggressive rebound that time by Katy Ramage.
5 fouls, and we're not even to the halfway point of the quarter, so this could really go a long way with the foul trouble that Dunlap's in right now.
This charge is her second, but sloppy ball handling off the hands of Pacha, and Solberger walks it up the floor. Cummings for 3, sinks it, and Dunlap has clawed all the way back.
That was the wrong person to leave open. She's been on fire all night shooting the ball. Huge 3 from Cummings.
Metamora looking for the response. Pass into the high post to Pacha. Will take a dribble and kick out. Metamora doing a good job of staying patient offensively. Again, Pacha in the high post. Trying to find a way to break down the 2-3 zone. Steffen kicks it to the top of the key once more. And Laumandir will set up the show as we're under 4 in the third period. Post up down low to Pacha, and a foul is called, baseline out of bounds, coming up for Metamora.
Maybe got bailed out a little bit right there, but you know, Metamora's moving the ball nicely. Better defense, though.
And we're going to go ahead and head into the mass timeouts. We'll be right back after this quick message.
It's Off-String's Traction for All sales event with new SUVs and trucks in stock and inbound with 4-wheel and all-wheel drive. For better winter traction, take immediate action. Reduce the slide in your ride during the Traction for All sales event at every Off-String Auto Group dealer.
Welcome back to Dunlap High School, where it's a 22-21 contest. I'm Cody Roskins. Alongside me is Gavin Russell. Dunlap trailed by as many as 11, Gavin, but up until just a few moments ago, finally regained the lead at 22-21. How have they done it?
Well, they were definitely out of it earlier in this game. Again, as you mentioned, down by 11, but they had their opportunities, just weren't making the shots. Now you see those shots starting to fall, and obviously in large part with the home court advantage, probably a little more comfortable shooting on the home floor than a visiting gym. So Dunlap starting to find those shots falling. They've got the momentum, but again, just a 1-point lead. You can't settle. Of course, you're going to have to score some more points to win this game, and Metamora definitely has to change up the game plan a little bit, but they've got plenty of skill and more than plenty of time to get back into this game.
Heather Cassidy's squad, once again, clawed back from down 11, but they've paid the price in the foul department, Gavin, a 6-1 deficit in that margin. They're in danger of putting Metamora in the bonus. As Metamora will try and once more start up the offense. The corner three on the way. Airballed up by the Redbirds, but they may have caught in a break as it's off the hands of Cummings.
That's a tough turnover off the rebound, gives Metamora another look, and usually if you get them 2 looks in a row, they're going to make one of them. So Metamora with a big opportunity, getting the break off the Cummings turnover.
So the Redbirds trying to claw on one of the few deficits they've had tonight. Inbound play, ball is loose onto the floor. And a jump ball will keep possession to Metamora. Head coach Heather Cassidy pleading for the moving spring claw. Quick post up, down low against Cruz, and they will call a foul. As again, those fouls continuing to pile up.
Can't say in all the high school basketball I've watched this year I've seen this many fouls pile up that quickly, but it's as a result of, Dunlap's looking to play very, very aggressive, and oftentimes you pick up a lot of fouls playing that way, but, it's given them the advantage, and, they can do as much as only be tied if this free throw goes in.
Pacha's first free throw is off the mark. Sinks the second, so we're tied back up at 22. Solberger brings the ball up the floor for the home squad Eagles. Running Kirtley off a baseline screen. She now has it working one-on-one. 2 feet into the paint. Has to find an option. Finds that safety valve and Facet. Nearly turning it over. Solberger able to stay strong. That'll be a foul against Metamora. And Laumandier will get charged with that foul. That's her second.
They bring Elena Redgate in, and she had a big spark in the first half. See if she can do something similar here in quarter number 3.
You're right, Gavin. Came off the bench and immediately sparked a 4-0 Redbird run. Solberger down the lane. Fakes the pivot back shot. A long 2 from Cummings. Just barely draws iron. Rebound controlled by Redgate. Trying to get rid of it. And a timeout charged to Metamora. The 30-second charge timeout to Kyle Wyanoth. And here we come, Gavin. Again, it's the early part. I shouldn't say early part. We're midway through the third, but this game just continues to feel like it's not going to get much bigger than a 2 or 3 point game.
High stakes, and that's certainly where we are right now. Of course, it's a tough position if you're Metamora. You've been a little stagnant on offense. For Dunlap, you don't want to let up off that pace, though, because as we've seen, sometimes when they get cold, it can really go against them. They can go several minutes without scoring, so they really have to keep pushing the pace, and they got to keep getting points up on the board to stay in with this one. Just been really entertaining so far, Cody. I mean, this is, Mid-Illini Conference sports are usually a great battle, no matter the sport. No matter if it's boys or girls, but obviously this is a direct reflection of what we usually see in MIC play. Treated to a good one so far.
Indeed we have. Again, for those at home, this big number to watch on the scoreboard would be 7-2 fouls. 7 for Dunlap, 2 for Metamora. As we continue to come down. An important stretch here in the third as the shot is blocked underneath. Couldn't tell if it was Solberger or Cruz that got a piece of it. But nevertheless, here come the Eagles. Down the lane, Solberger kicks it out to Kirtley. Just barely able to maintain possession. Solberger on the drive. Blocking foul against Metamora. That looked like it'll go against Redgate.
That's a couple of fouls and back-to-back trips for Metamora, so slowly but surely their fouls start to creep up, and The foul situation, obviously not ideal for Dunlap, but again, foul's going to tell a big story as we come down the stretch of this game.
Trying to post up Facet. And they'll say another foul, and if that's on Redgate, that could be her 4th.
That's a really tough break, too, is, of course, that's, probably one of your best bench options. Now having to take a seat for, majority, if not the rest of this game, have to use your starters a little more than you probably would have liked.
Indeed, you're right, as Marshall checks back into the game for Metamora. She was one of their listed 5 starters. Tough shot, runner off the window. How about it, Solberger?
That's an early player of the game candidate, at least for Dunlap's side. Solberger has given them a huge jolt in this game on both sides of the ball.
Pass into the high post, deflected away by Solberger. Dunlap trying to extend what would be their largest lead of the night. Ball finds its way out of bounds off the hands of Solberger. But then you see Dunlap. That ball looked like they had no chance of being saved, but still they're diving, getting some of those Woodburns to take home with them.
The effort is superior for both of these teams. Of course, both these coaches demand hard work and good effort, and that's exactly what we've seen. Effort usually will win you games. Both these teams putting themselves in a position to do so tonight.
Vandershoff running the show here for Metamora. Kick, wing 3, Vandershoff just off the mark, rebounded by Cummings. And now Sutter back into the game. She checked out in an early session of this third quarter with that 3rd foul. Now Kirtley sizes up, in and out. Dribble through the lane and a travel. I think that's a good call coming from the officials. Looks like she jugged that back pivot foot.
Yeah, maybe trying to get in there to draw a foul a little bit, but a nice job from the defender. So you just kind of play straight up and kind of force the unforced turnover with the walk. That's a couple of turnovers in a row for Dunlap, so good opportunity for Metamora to tie or take the lead.
Into the high post, kick back outside. Again, Metamora, Gavin, they've done a great job moving the ball all night. It's just the shots haven't fallen.
Certainly the case, and they seem a little unwilling to take the 3-point shot. They struggled from out there, but they can get it going in a hurry.
Kick back outside. This will be a 3. May have been partially blocked. In the end, though, finds its way to the back half of the rim. This could be the last shot here in the 3rd quarter. A 24-22 edge for the home squad Dunlap Eagles. Dribbles it into the corner. Pulling for 3 is Sutter. Off the mark and rebounded by Metamora. Heave at the horn. Will be off the mark. And Gavin, we're going down the stretch here, primed for a great 4th quarter.
Wow, it's been great so far, Cody. And, Dunlap really turning on the Jets there. Come up with the 2-point lead. Just felt Metamora has been kind of out of sync ever since, kind of the end part of the first half. Really totally on offense, but it's been that 2-3 zone. That 2-3 zone has been very, very effective, not allowing them much on the inside and doing a nice job contesting those outside shots as well.
And one thing I've kind of noticed, Gavin, that Metamora's trying to adjust to this 2-3 zone. They've run a number of different players at the point. We saw Vandershoff run the point for a little bit. We saw Laumandir run a good portion of the point guard role in the early part of this game. When they had success, they really haven't gone to her much since. They've also seen Alyssa Russell take some reps at the point, but how does Metamora break down that 2-3 zone? Everyone says you got to get into the high post, but so far they've gotten it there, but there's no fruit to be born.
I think you continue to trust your stuff, and if you have some open 3-point shots, especially if you've got one of your better 3-point shooters with an opportunity, you continue to take that shot because a 3-point shot in this game gives you the lead. So you're that close right now. Take your opportunities, and I think one thing they've gotten away from, in large part because of what Dunlap has done, they scored a lot of their points in transition when they were able to get out and run, keep Dunlap off balance. That's where they got a lot of their points. So we'll see if Metamora can kind of get back into more of their rhythm, play more of their style of game. But Dunlap's done a nice job dictating this one so far.
The home supporters can feel the upset on the horizon, but they've still got 8 more minutes of work to do as Solberger down the lane against 2, puts it in, and it's a 4-point edge for the Eagles.
Great read there by Solberger, and it looks like Dunlap's dropping into the man-to-man. Keeping a little confusion on the Metamora side.
Got to be careful. Running against the man-to-man. Penetration doesn't lead to points. As again, great job by Dunlap. Down low, hands up, don't jump. A lot of times referees will let you play. Kick into the corner for Sutter. She'll bring it up top. Peyton Haley is that ball screener. They'll get Solberger now with the ball. Julia Solberger's been the offensive catalyst tonight. Solberger down the lane, kicks right back out. Peyton Haley on the drive, fakes the shot. Now Dunlap will back it out. Pull up three. Kirtley! Don't look now, Gavin, but the Dunlap Eagles have come alive.
Need a response for Metamora, but big shooting.
And right back on the answer, the ever so timely Redbirds able to score. Ramage able to put it in, and it's back down to 5.
We know this. Metamora's not going to go down without a fight, but Dunlap doing just about everything right in this second half to try to come out with a win.
Curley blow by her defender, trying to get the post up to Haley. Instead, it's pick and roll. Penetration, can't find Cummings, but somehow the Eagles maintain it, and it's Sutter. Offensive rebound to Cummings. Timeout charge to Heather Cassidy and the Dunlap Eagles. It's a 30-second charge timeout.
Good timeout because now you've got a second possession after the offensive rebound. Good offensive rebounding for that matter. Now a chance to continue to extend out that lead. They had it up to 7 before Metamora made a response, but again, we're expecting a close finish, and you know it's exactly everything we were hoping for.
And remember, Gavin, we were at the masked timeout in the third quarter, and we noted at the scoreboard it was 6-1 at one point fouls. It's now 7-4. They've played defense without fouling. They've hunted down the loose ball, and of course they've finally been able to put in some shots from the field.
Well, we know Metamora likes to take the ball inside, and I think they've just played an exceptionally straight-up defense. You know, they haven't gotten too aggressive. They're just trusting that their contest will be enough, and so far it has. You know, Metamora's had to take tough shots, and they haven't gotten all of their buckets to go. So just a great game plan right now, but this one is certainly far from over, and we're looking for an exciting finish.
It should be an exciting last 6:12 to go here in Dunlap. Solberger with the ball. Ball screen from Haley. She rejects and kicks to the corner to Kirtley. Had a big three just a moment ago. Now Cummings. Again, looks like Metamora is extending that defensive pressure. They're not backing off at all. There's no whole help, and they're playing for the turnovers. Gavin, that defense was extended all the way out beyond the free throw line. They are hugging up on everybody, trying to deny the ball. Is that a valid strategy coming here for Metamora?
I do think so, because now that, you know, look at that, you know, they're trying to create some turnovers and things like that, get the ball back in any way possible.
Sutter off the two-footed hop step, sinks the jumper, and it's a 31-24 edge for Dunlap. Quick pass up the court. Now Metamora has to answer again.
Back into that 2-3 zone they go. It's pretty much worked when they run it.
Pacha. Kick to the near side, into the high post. Now right back outside. Three-pointer on the way. Lau Mandir missed everything on that one, and a big couple of possessions coming up here.
Oh, man, and a tough foul right there from Solberger. Maybe pushed off a little bit with that arm. But as you mentioned with that 2-3 zone, they're almost willing Metamora to take that three-point shot, which I don't believe they made it any more than one of those tonight.
Tough play on the baseline. Pacha had trouble controlling the ball. The Metamora bench pleading for a foul. Maybe had a case to have one, but nevertheless, turnover, and it's going to be Dunlap ball. Have to get it in. Pass along the baseline is tipped away. Nice job that time by Alyssa Russell to deny Solberger.
And you mentioned that pressure, you know, is it good in this stage of the game? Well, certainly it is. You know, they need to continue to kick up that pressure. So far, it's been working in these last couple possessions, keeping Dunlap off balance.
Sutter able to get all the way past the timeline and is fouled. That'll be against Russell. so a tough call coming against here. And they're going to call a foul against Dunlap. This will be I guess they'll call this a moving screen, Gavin.
Wow, I'm a little surprised by that. It looks like the Metamora defender, I didn't catch who that was, but just kind of ran right in to Cummings, but not what the ref saw, and Metamora with a big opportunity to take advantage.
One of the better jump shooters for Dunlap tonight. Hit a couple from that short range and comes away with the deflected steal. Tanaya Cummings able to keep that pivot foot on the ground, kicks, one more. Solberger on the drive is blocked away. Pacha with the denial.
There's that length from Metamora, and that's a big block right there because you start to spark a little fire into your team. The bench gets up, starts to get a little bit loud, so get momentum in any way possible.
Got to go up strong down the stretch here. Gavin, as we're down to the 4:30 mark here in the final quarter. Sutter with the ball. Trying to find a safety valve. Metamora with great on-ball defense and a full timeout charge to Heather Cassidy and the Dunlap Eagles.
And it can, you can sense a little bit of off-balanceness from Dunlap in these last few possessions. In large part, they're not really responding well to this pressure by Metamora, so big props over to that Metamora huddle, drawing up some of that pressure. Again, forcing some of those turnovers, not really allowing Dunlap any looks. I think now more so for Metamora. Can they draw something on offense to get some, collective scoring in multiple possessions?
And this is big, Gavin. I just took a glance over to the scoreboard, and after those last two offensive fouls, Metamora has managed to go through the bonus without having to shoot the one-and-ones. They'll just go straight to 2 free throws with the 9 team fouls from Dunlap.
They sure will, and again, that's over half the fourth quarter that they will have 2 shots. So Dunlap's got to try to do all they can not to foul because, a foul gives you 2 shots instantly, and, Metamora is usually a pretty good free throw shooting team. They're going to make majority of those, and that could be a big reason they get back into this game. I think Dunlap just kind of controls their own destiny here. They got to continue playing their game. Metamora's got to find a way to respond.
Again, just to show everybody what's at stake, Metamora comes into tonight at 7-1 in the Mid-Illini. Their lone loss to Washington, and they're 4-0 on the road this season. Dunlap looking to play a home spoiler role here tonight and improve to 2 games over 500. Curtly handling the ball here, trying to find an opening. Great on-ball defense by Russell. Able to turn the corner, a foul. It'll be before the shot, and so they'll have a baseline out of bounds.
Nice job just moving the ball around. At this point, if you're Dunlap, with a 7-point lead, you have, no reason that you need to go play too quickly. Just get the ball moving around, get an open look, and add to your lead.
Inbound to Haley. Sutter has it. Metamora again trying to force the turnover. And they'll call the foul, and this should take us to our mask timeout. Yep, and that will indeed be the case. This will be the mask timeout. So we'll go ahead and be right back with you after this quick break from Uftering.
Upgrade to 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive during Uftering's Traction for All sales event with new SUVs and trucks in stock and inbound, plus fresh trades and pre-owned for every budget. Reduce the slide in your ride during the Traction for All sales event at every Uftering Auto Group dealer.
Welcome back to Dunlap High School, home to the Dunlap Eagles, and tonight's Mid-Illini girls basketball clash between the Metamora Redbirds and the Dunlap Eagles. Gavin, give us a quick breakdown. We see a 31-24 edge for Dunlap, but it's been far from that easy for them tonight.
Well, we are Clutch Sports Media, so we're talking about a clutch player stepping up in a clutch way. I think you can talk about Julia Solberger for Dunlap. She's been huge running this offense tonight, kind of running that point guard position. She's made some nice baskets of her own, but really facilitating well for her team. Dunlap as a team has been playing really well in this second half. Metamora not really able to get the offense going, but lately things are seeming to shift a little more towards their direction. They're just a couple of stops and a couple of scores away from making this one really interesting.
1-1 coming up for Dunlap, and as they broke that huddle, Gavin, I was just able to hear Heather Cassidy. They broke that huddle with the defensive chant. They want to get after it on the defensive end as the first free throw rattles off the mark. And so Metamora, if it's going to start here, it's got to start soon, I guess.
Sure does, and you know, Dunlap going with that 2-3 zone, I don't blame them. I mean, it's worked majority of the time you've had it out there. Continue with it.
Russell jump shot on the way, short. Offensive rebound to Alyssa Russell. Able to get it out to Lallman Deer. Into the high post, swings it. Pacha wanted the ball on the low block. They can't get it to her. Again into that high post, kicks. Wing three on the way, sinks it, and Metamora will take a timeout. Big time bucket that time by Katy Ramage.
And I think that's their first three of the night, maybe second. Could be wrong on that, but either way, they haven't made a lot from out there. They're kind of forcing them to make shots, and Metamora has plenty of players that can do that. That's a big shot to get it within 4.
You said it, Gavin. They haven't shot the three particularly well tonight. They haven't had many opportunities to shoot it in rhythm. I think a lot of that has to do with how Dunlap's been able to run their 2-3 defense tonight, so that's a big credit to Heather Cassidy and her squad. But on the other end, how about Kyle Wyan? I mean, he's drawn up some great offensive sets. It's just been trouble. It's been trouble for them to get the shot off. They've had a couple turnovers, fouls. It's just been taking them out of the rhythm.
It has taken them out of the rhythm, and I think Dunlap's done an extremely good job at taking away what Metamora probably does best is score in transition. I really haven't noticed any transition scoring this entire half from the Redbirds. Rather, you know, they're forcing them to play in the half court where they're good, but they don't excel quite as much. So Dunlap's just done an excellent job with their game plan. But again, Metamora certainly hanging around, and plenty can get back in this game.
Got to get rid of it. It's tipped away, out of bounds. It's going to stick with Metamora. So their defense leading to offense, Gavin.
Here comes that momentum, and you feel like a bucket here really changes the landscape of this last 3 minutes.
We hinted at the 3 overtime game these two squads played a year ago. Could we be in store for something similar down the stretch as the pass out of bounds from Russell, intended for Lallman Deer. So that's a tough turnover for Metamora after they do a great job to get the turnover with their inbound defense, but now Dunlap inbounding in the coffin corner. And I believe they called an offensive foul. And that's her 4th foul to Tanea Cummings. And so one more and she'll be hit with the disqualifying 5th foul, Gavin. So leaving the door open. So the referee's talking here about if it was an offensive foul, obviously away from the ball, they wouldn't shoot the free throws, just conferring to make sure that was indeed the case. And down low, fouled on the take. Beautiful, strong move that time by Brooklyn Marshall.
Maybe a little bit of, I don't even say gamesmanship, just good game planning out of the timeout, trying to utilize that Dunlap foul situation to their benefit. Of course, they got the foul right there, but now 2 big shots at the line.
Brooklyn Marshall, high arcing free throw. Just left of the rim. And so a big second free throw coming up here, as it looks like they're going to try and pack it in on this rebound. Off the back iron to Peyton Haley.
Those are some crucial misses right there, and a chance for Dunlap to edge into this lead a little bit more.
And that'll be a foul, and now it'll send Dunlap to the line to shoot some free throws. So back and forth we go at the stripe, Gavin. We said it earlier, free throws and turnovers, that's the difference.
And Dunlap's still in the 1-and-1. I don't even need to say it at this point, as I've further overused the broadcaster's jinx, Cody, but again, crucial free throws.
The gym falls to a whisper as Julia Solberger puts in the first. She's up to 12 now, the 32 from Dunlap.
And you could hear the gym collectively holding their breath.
Sinks the second. Cool as ice is Julia Solberger. She's eyeing a home upset. Both teams in the bonus. 10 team fouls to Dunlap, 9 to Metamora. Cummings trying to avoid her 5th. Almendier, pass is intercepted by Solberger. Solberger looking for the fast break bucket. Off the mark, rebounded. And this will be a foul charged to Metamora.
What a turn of events right there. Is looks like Dunlap was game planning for some more three-point attempts from Metamora. They kind of work that perimeter a bit more and come up with the steal. And the follow-up chance gets 2 shots.
First one off the mark from Kirtley, and that was Vanderstroff on the foul. And just like you said, Gavin, you keep leaving that door open. Sooner or later, it could swing right back and hit you.
Still a 2-possession game at the moment.
Again, the gym falls to a whisper, and Kirtley puts the lead back to 7, far from over here in the last 2.5 minutes. Vanderstroff swings. You can hear head coach Heather Cassidy preaching to her defense. No threes, gotta keep the ball inside the arc. They're almost sprinting out onto the three-point shooters in the lane. Tough shot off the mark, rebound by Redgate. Back down low, floater off 2, and a foul charge to Dunlap. Good job that time by Youngquist to put the shot up.
That first shot there from Katy Ramage looked a little bit forced. They may have been able to sacrifice a few more seconds for a better shot, but a nice job from Redgate to get the offensive rebound.
Missing the first. And so again, each team having struggles at the line down the stretch. And you're right, Redgate doing a great job off the bench, getting those hustle rebounds and points. Second one off the mark, free ball. Again, guess who? It's Redgate. Kick outside for 3. Sinks it! Alyssa Russell has brought him back within 4.
Well, this game is so far from over, Cody. Minute 58. That is plenty of time for Metamora to get right back into this one, tie it up or even take the lead. That is a huge turning point in this game with a 3.
So now now head coach Kyle Wyant drawing up a defensive pressure look here, probably down 4. Minute 58 to go, Gavin. How do you see this kind of unfolding here for Dunlap? How do you handle the pressure coming into the full court?
You need to control the ball. Just get the ball in, control the ball. Even if you get fouled and you go shoot free throws, you're not in a position to, turn the ball over, because there's been a couple of inbounds where they've turned the ball over in these past couple of minutes, and I don't think that they can really afford to do that at this point, because Metamora could capitalize and cut this down to a 1 or 2 point game.
It'll be definitely interesting. It just seems like these two teams, no matter who's on the floor, we're playing a close one. It'll be Sutter to inbound. They'll go with the 4 cross look to try and break the full court pressure. Inbound, Solberger has it. Evades the double team and kicks to Sutter. Now Solberger has it. A minute 50 and running on the game clock. And they're going to call a foul against Vanderstroff. And again, Gavin, coming down the stretch, that's her 3rd foul. We've seen free throws be a problem for both sides.
Well, that's not maybe the worst outcome in the world.
Leaving the door open. Just as you said, Gavin, maybe it's not the worst thing in the world to play the foul game.
And, even if they make if she would have made both of these free throws, that's still a 2-possession game.
Left the first one long, leaves the second one short. Metamora with an opportunity. A minute 40 to go. Here we come down the stretch in Dunlap. Solberger nearly got a hand on that last pass. Laumandier. They'll work with a 1-3-1 here to try and break the 2-3. Laumandier kicks outside again. Beautiful skip pass. On the way for 3. Off back iron. Tipped around. Flicked back inbounds and saved by Metamora. Pacha missed it. Rebound again. Finds its way skipping out of bounds to Dunlap. What a sequence.
3 opportunities, and they're going to change it.
And they're going to change it, you're right, Kevin. After a discussion with the 2 near side officials and the baseline official, the possession changes back to Metamora.
This is getting wild, Cody.
Inbound, down low, Pacha. Up and under move, loses the ball and traveled with it. And Heather Cassidy almost jumped out of her shoes in celebration.
Wow. 4 opportunities on that possession after offensive rebounds and the ball going out of bounds. And Dunlap forces the turnover.
It'll be a full timeout charge to head coach Heather Cassidy and the Dunlap Eagles with a minute and 4 seconds to go. Each team in the double bonus in a 34-30 ball game. Gavin, what are the quick keys for both teams to try and hold on or come back and win this one?
So first of all, for Dunlap, as I mentioned a minute ago, you got to be able to get the ball in bounds. You can't turn the ball over. You know, even if you have to throw up a shot or you go to the free throw line, you got to hold on to the ball. For Metamora, you got to do the exact opposite. You got to put the pressure on. Again, fouling quickly would not be the worst thing in the world, as Dunlap's missed a few free throws tonight. Even if they make both of them, it's still a 2-possession game. So Metamora try to get the ball back any way possible. Dunlap control the ball.
Here we go. Both teams prepping to break their huddles. Dunlap, they can feel it. They can taste it, Gavin. The table has been set for a home upset against a team that is nearly ranked in Class 3A for girls basketball as the home supporters rise to their feet. Metamora, on the other hand, looking to stay undefeated on the road. Having trouble getting the inbound, and that's 5. And there it is again, the stifling inbound defense by the Redbirds.
That's exactly what they didn't need to do. Couldn't even get the ball in bounds. So minute 4, 5 straight opportunities for the Redbirds.
Trying to go quickly down low. Beautiful move, fouled. A great job that time, but looked like Vanderstroff maybe got hit in the face. And that's Julia Solberger's 4th foul, so maybe something to watch, Gavin, if they have to maybe foul coming down the stretch of overtime. Not to say we're going to play that out like that, but something to definitely keep an eye on. That's now 2 players on the floor with 4 fouls for Dunlap.
Solberger and 4 fouls. That is a big-time development in this game.
First free throw off the mark, as I guess some of the players from Dunlap had a case of the cold on that last free throw attempt. Doing anything they can to distract Vanderstroff at the line. Able to rattle home the second. That's a big free throw, Gavin, because it cuts it to 3.
At this point, though, obviously with the IHSA no shot clock, if Dunlap gets it in here, got to think about fouling quickly.
Quick inbound to Solberger. They're going to try and double team. Having trouble getting a hold. They're going to call a foul. That's going to be charged to number 12, Katy Lalamandir.
And she is gone. That is her 5th foul of the game. So starting to see the fouls pile up and play a difference, not just on Dunlap, but for Metamora as well.
Now, if you're Dunlap, though, Gavin, you've got to finally make your free throws. You can't continue to leave this door open because Metamora is a good enough team to execute a simple 3-point play.
You need at least one of these.
First one is nothing but net for Julia Solberger. Pushes it back to 4 with 58 seconds to go. Quick stoppage from the baseline referee. 1 shot live off the shot. Can't ice her. 36-31 as we come down the last 60 seconds. Got to try and find a bucket here. Pacha kicking it to the top of the key, now back to the wing. Wasting precious seconds, having to find a bucket. Metamora needing one. Timeout taken by Kyle Wyan.
Too long with nothing going on, and that just speaks testament all night how good of a job Dunlap has done on defense. Nobody really wants to step up and take that shot because there's not really a good open shot. At some point, you got to just force it a little bit. But again, not giving them any good open opportunities.
So if you're head coach Kyle Wyant, what are you drawing up to try and maybe draw up a quick 3, or are you hunting down that quick 2?
I think more than anything, just go with your best play to get points on the board. If he thinks that's a 3, then so be it. But even if it's a 2, that's big as well, because, again, we've seen tonight Dunlap's had struggles with the inbounds play. He's also had struggles at the free throw line. So make Dunlap win this game, try to pick up on some of their issues, and, again, just got to put points on the board with a crucial 39.4 left to go.
Head coach Kyle Wyanoth trying to draw up a play to bring his team back within a possession. A 2 is not the end of the world here for Dunlap, because you'd like to think that you're going to trade 2 for 2 on a make and then obviously get fouled and shoot free throws on your end. But first things first, you've got to run everybody off the three-point line. Metamora has made a couple down in the stretch in this game. Solberger tipped it. Foul against Solberger, and she's going to be disqualified.
Wow, that is a big foul for a couple of reasons. Number one, she's fouled out. She can't believe it. Just really tough turn of events in a big game like this. But number two, you take barely any time off the clock with a chance to add 2 more points, and that's just as good as a 2-point bucket.
Ramage will now be at the line to shoot 2 and bring her team within 3. Fassett will come into the game to replace the fouled out Solberger. First one, nothing but net and ice in her veins for Ramage.
Do I need to say it, Cody, how big this free throw is?
I think the people at home can feel it with you, Gavin. Free throw off the mark, rebound to Dunlap. Do they foul? Trying to play for the turnover. I have a timeout charged head coach Heather Cassidy. 28.3 on the clock, Gavin, and that was starting to look pretty hairy.
That was very, very close to getting a violation, not getting it over the timeline. Very, very close, and indeed, of course, Metamora is looking for the turnover here. This has just been really interesting down the stretch. A lot of back and forth, a lot of opportunities for both teams to kind of, Metamora get back into it, for Dunlap to close it out, but very close as we've expected.
You hit it right on the head, Gavin, but I mean, that's just the double-edged sword you play with there, I guess. You know you want to try and play for the turnover and don't foul and don't put them on the line, but if they get that timeout off, you have to eat all those seconds that ran off the clock, and now here we sit with 28.3.
Seconds are so crucial in this game, and even just that last possession right there, run about 10 seconds off the clock. I mean, just gets so crucial. I bet Metamora would have anything to do with having more time on the clock, but will their comeback fall a little bit short?
Got to wonder how Dunlap will respond. Their primary ball handler, Julia Solberger, who's led the way in scoring for them tonight, is now out of the game via foul out. Now Dunlap will have to try and play this one smart. They inbound quickly. Sutter go ahead and trot up to the line. She knows how big this could be. The senior guard trying to put the second blemish on the conference record for Metamora.
Again, though, not the worst thing in the world, because barely any time going off the clock. And, you know, this is an opportunity to obviously extend out the lead. Still a 2-possession game, though.
Missing the first. Also note, Elena Redgate fouled out on that last one. It's now can Sutter push it to a 5-point advantage. Missed it. Tie up. It'll be a jump ball, possession arrow to Metamora. So they're able to escape without surrendering any points. Now do you hunt the quick 2?
Just got to get points, and very quickly.
Hunting out a shot. We're under 20 seconds here in Dunlap. Down the lane, Pacha. It'll be a jump ball, possession arrow to Dunlap. 15.2, and we've seen the troubles that Dunlap's had inbounding the ball tonight, Gavin. This will be a far from a sure thing. Quickly inbounded And they'll foul. This will be Kirtley. She's played a stellar game today on the defensive side, and now she'll go to the line for the 2 biggest free throws of the game.
I think if she can make both of these, could put the game on ice potentially.
And she sinks the first. It's back to a 5-point edge, 37-32. And Dunlap's played a great game today. They still have to close it out with 13.5 on the clock. Sinks the second. It's a 6-point game. Now you got to hunt the 3. Cummings gets a hand on it. Tipped out of bounds off the hands of a Redbird. It was Youngquist going back to the Eagles.
That might have done it right there.
Quickly inbounded. Nobody's around Haley. They finally foul. And head coach Heather Cassidy catches their player from colliding into the bench. And the home supporters can feel it as Haley will go to the line.
One of these, I think, would pretty firmly put this game away.
Nothing but net, and Dunlap, with less than 6 seconds to go, now holds a 7-point edge over Metamora. Misses the second. Clock will run. Metamora needs to get a shot off quickly down the lane. Time will expire, and that is over. The game is done, sealed, and delivered. Dunlap upsets Metamora at home.
What a game and what a finish. Down 11, and then you go up and win by 7 points. Great resiliency, all without your star player, Sophia Remmel. Great execution and great play by Dunlap tonight. Knocked off a very, very good Metamora Redbirds team.
Dunlap will improve to 12-10 on the season, 6-4 in the Mid-Illini. Metamora drops to 18-3, 7-2 in the Mid-Illini, and their first road loss this season. Their only other loss coming to Washington. Gavin, if you had to pick a quick player of the game, I think we both know who it'll be, but we have to say it anyway.
I got to say Julia Solberger, she stepped up in a big way, and just to think she's a sophomore, that's going to be huge for Dunlap going forward. As I mentioned, they've got a lot of young players. They got a few seniors, but got a lot of young players. They're a team that's only going to get better, and they're going to be a team that's top in the Mid-Illini Conference for the next couple of years.
As we go ahead and take a look at the upcoming schedules for both squads. Again, a great game here tonight for both sides. Coming up on the 29th, they have Morton for Metamora, and then, of course, on the 1st, they have a home game against Pekin. For the opposite side in Dunlap, they have Bloomington and then Washington, a team that beat Metamora. Obviously, they've shown they can play with anybody like they did tonight.
Well, both these teams in their next two have a team that's very, very good in the Mid-Illini Conference, and, you know, particularly for Metamora, this becomes a huge game in terms of playing Morton. So Morton, a real dangerous team. They got to go to Morton. It's going to be a great finish to Mid-Illini Conference basketball, both boys and girls. Excited to cover the remaining games.
It should be an interesting stretch down the Mid-Illini Conference Road, as once again, the final from Dunlap High School. The Eagles of Dunlap, 39, and the Redbirds of Metamora, 32. For everybody here at the CSM crew that was able to make it out to Dunlap tonight, from my partner Gavin Russell, Larry Larson, who was running socials and producing tonight, doing both jobs, and of course Brock Alkire on the camera tonight. I'm Cody Roskin signing up. Thanks for watching.